You might do all the stuff I told you to do and not feel like you seeing any growth. But I promise you it's happening. It's just really slow. Like, you know how the world is turning round and round and round and it's going so slow that you can't feel it? That's how your hair gonna feel sometimes. It's gonna be growing so slow that you can't even see it.
Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. You gotta want it with all your might. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. I know you're gonna be alright.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Cal Unique, where we're all about creating natural beauty you can be proud of. If you're new and you would like to become a part of Unique Beauty Squad, please subscribe below and then comment, let me know you're new so that I can give you a personalized welcome. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's dive in. So today we're focusing on the first part of my hair education series. If you couldn't tell by the title of this video, we are going to be focusing on natural hair that may not be growing. All right, so a lot of folks think that, oh, I cut my dead ends off or I cut all my straight pieces off, my hair's supposed to start growing. No, that's not necessarily what happens. So the first thing we're gonna talk about today is what is natural hair? So many people are on this new journey, this new kick of just having completely natural hair, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love every bit of it. However, I don't think everyone knows what having natural hair really means. So having natural hair means that your hair is completely free of all chemicals. That means no hair color, no perm, no relaxer, no straightening products. Like, your hair is just completely free of everything and anything that could alter your natural state. So if your hair is completely free of all those things listed, congratulations. You are natural. So the rest of this video is geared toward you. Why is my hair not growing? I'm natural. I cut it off. I did the big chop. I'm transitioning. Why is it not growing? Let me help you, because there are a few things that you probably are missing. First things first, you got to learn your hair. Natural hair looks different for every single person. For your homegirl, it might mean that she got some thick, coarse, kinky hair. She's got a lot of volume, a lot of density. Yeah, but for you, that might mean you got a finer texture, a softer texture. This is something that you definitely have to remember when starting your hair journey. Everyone's hair is going to be different. So you got to learn your hair. Hair porosity. That's something that we're definitely going to dive into deeper in a future video. But just to give a general overview, your porosity is how well your hair absorbs moisture. So think of your hair as a fine strand that has like little pockets that will open when exposed to heat. So those small pockets, when they're open, they'll accept things in. Those things being moisture, vitamins, minerals, the things that your hair needs to survive. So the humidity, the moisture in the air, and then the heat on top of that is all going to be accepted into your hair strand. If you have a low porosity like me, that means when your hair is exposed to moisture, it's not as apt to accept it. So it needs heat. It needs something to open up those little pockets that are in your hair shaft to be able to accept the moisture that is being given. So think of low porosity hair as the type of hair that struggles to accept moisture, but once it accepts it, it's locked in there. Remember that if those pockets aren't opened when the moisture is placed on the hair, it won't accept it and you'll probably have product buildup. And product buildup is very obvious and it causes the hair to be weighed down. You don't see a lot of growth in that area, especially when you have a lot of products on your natural hair. Now, high porosity hair is hair that the pockets are basically always open. So they're always accepting moisture, but just as fast as the moisture gets in, the moisture leaves, which is not necessarily the greatest. So you have to find things that will let you accept the moisture, but also lock that moisture in. That's why sometimes you'll see people utilize a method where they'll add conditioner while their hair is warm, but they'll lock it in with cold water just to grab that moisture and keep it. They also may have to use oils on their hair. Oils usually lock in that moisture as well because oil is a sealant. So it'll seal the hair strand and allow for nothing to really come in or go out. Another thing that you'll really want to be knowledgeable on is the texture of your hair. So you're going to want to know, do you have 4A, 4B, 4C? Maybe you're not even in the 4s. Maybe you have a 3A, a 3B, a 3C. I'm going to post a picture here to show you what that may look like. But basically, you're going to look at the coils and look at the curl pattern in your hair when it's wet and when it's in its freest state to see what type of texture your hair has. And that'll help guide you also on what type of styles work best for you and what products you may want to use on your hair. That leads me to the next thing that you'll probably want to consider when your hair is not growing the way that you'd like, and that is products you're using. So your products, they're top priority. Everybody can't use the same thing. And what your homegirl might be using might not work for you. You got to remember this. Your product is really going to make the difference in how your hair is going to respond. So moisture check. Y'all, is your hair moisturized? And I'm not talking about because you put some oil on there. Like, the oil's not going to get it. You have to moisturize the actual strand of your hair. So the length of your hair, you need to be applying some kind of a leave-in conditioner, some kind of a moisturizing cream, just to make sure that your hair is always moisturized. So dryness, it can't grow in dryness. Your hair is not a cactus. See, cacti, they are able to thrive in a desert, right? Yeah, but that's about it. Nothing else gonna grow in the desert. Y'all ever seen a desert? It's dry. It's dry. That's your hair. If you ain't putting no moisture on your hair is in the desert. And it's not a cactus. So it's I need water. That's your hair. Remember, your products, you need to be moisturizing your hair on a regular basis, y'all. Not once every 3 weeks. Not when you see a stylist. This is something you need to be doing on a regular basis. So I like to do, sometimes if I'm wearing like a protective style like this right now, I just have mini twist in, like wet mini twist. I try to moisturize my hair every 2 to 3 days. I'm going to spray a little bit of a light leave-in conditioner just to kind of dampen my hair, open those hair strands up a little bit, get a little bit of that moisture in there. But I have low porosity hair, so I don't like buildup. That's why I use a light mist. But it's just another way to just add a little moisture back to my hair when I feel like it might be getting kind of dry. Our next point, what is your hair routine? Do you have a routine? So this is the area where a lot of people struggle. A hair routine takes a little bit of discipline, and it takes you exploring different product options and different methods. So there's like the LOC method, the lock method as they call it, the LCO method, like there's so many different methods that people might use. So the LOC method is a leave-in, an oil, and then a cream. So a lot of people will use that method if they want to lock in the moisture from the leave-in and then add a cream on top. For my low porosity hair, that doesn't necessarily work because, as we well know, products on top of low porosity hair that's hair shafts are closed does not accept the moisture. So you end up with buildup. And the oil is going to seal the hair. So basically you're going to be putting cream on hair that's been sealed, which is just cream sitting on top of your hair, which is really not doing anything because it's not penetrating the shaft. So this is something that you have to consider. You need to know certain things about your hair so that you can really get a feel for what type of methods you need to be using, what type of routine you need to be using. So for me, I like to wash my hair on a semi-regular basis, especially since I'm doing less protective styling with extension hair or anything other than my own hair. So I want to keep my hair really clean and really healthy. I like to focus a lot on my scalp, and I'll add a click box at the top so that you can go back and look at my wash routine also. But you'll be able to see that I focus a lot on the roots of my hair, and then I kind of phase into the rest of the length of my hair. Another important part of your routine is what type of styling methods you're doing. So protective styling is key. Now, everyone's hair is not going to thrive through protective styling. And this is interesting because we've always been taught that protective styles is what helps your hair grow. But that's not necessarily true. Protective styles help with length retention. So that means that there's no tension usually happening on the length of your hair. So your hair is not breaking off and it's not being damaged just because of the outside elements. Your roots are still going to grow at a normal rate, but you're actually going to retain the length of your hair. That's why people flock toward protective styling. Now, that may not work for everyone. There are several women out there whose hair may not actually thrive in a protective style, but they may experience damage and breakage with protective styling because their hair tends to be more dry when their hair is put up in these types of styles. So you have to find out what works best for you. And protective styling is not going to be the best method for every person. A really good option for someone whose hair does not thrive in a protective style would be a twisting style with their natural hair. So for me, I like to do my wash method, and then I'll go in with my creams and my leave-in conditioner and twist my hair. And especially if you do them this small, it can last for weeks, you know, and you don't want to really leave in anything over 2 to 3 weeks because that can cause some knotting and breakage, and that still is counterproductive to hair growth. After you've figured out your styling routine, your wash routine, you have to figure out a maintenance routine. So maintenance is so important. Y'all, you can have the most poppinest protective style, but if you're not maintaining, you can forget about it. You're going to want to make sure that you're keeping your hair moisturized, even in a protective style. That might mean spraying your hair with a leave-in conditioner. That might mean oiling your scalp if you suffer from dry scalp. Everyone's not going to suffer from these same things, but these are all things you want to consider. Not only that, but make sure that you're always sleeping with something on your hair. I'm going to say that again. Make sure you're always sleeping with something on your hair. Okay. So for me, that's a satin bonnet or a silk bonnet. You don't want to lay in your bed without a silk bonnet or a satin bonnet. I'm telling you, don't do it. The friction from cotton, it's gonna damage your hair every time. You don't want that. It'll damage it, but not only will it damage it, but it'll cause frizzing and it'll cause knots. So you don't want to just lay it on a cotton pillow with your hair out. I don't care if you don't have a certain style in at that time. Just wrap your hair with some kind of a silk or satin bonnet or scarf, and it'll help you retain the moisture that you're getting from the different products that you're using on your hair. Along with using a satin bonnet or a satin scarf, try a satin pillowcase. Now, this was a game changer for me because some nights or some days when you just want to lay in your bed real quick, you don't necessarily want to put a bonnet on, but that satin pillowcase is going to really just be another protective factor there, just in case you don't have your bonnet on or if you fall asleep without your bonnet. Another part of hair maintenance is trimming your ends. Them ends got to be trimmed. Now, everybody doesn't have to trim often. I know for me, I don't necessarily have to trim often, especially if I'm keeping my hair in protective styles or not putting a lot of heat on my hair. So you'll want to make sure that you're just keeping track of your ends, because once your ends start splitting, it'll continue to split all the way up the hair shaft, and eventually you'll have damage all the way up to like your root. And then now you're not going to have no hair growth because you had damage all the way up to your root. Now, what you going to do? What you gonna do? It's all the way up to the root now? I don't know what to tell you. Now, this one y'all ain't gonna like, but this is a part of hair maintenance that people just, I guess, forget. You gotta drink water. You gotta drink water. Okay? You gotta drink water. Pop and soda, that ain't gonna grow your hair. I'm sorry. I know. Like, I know. A lot of people like pop. A lot of people like to drink, that fizzy stuff, but that's not gonna grow your hair. Like, it's just not. Drink some water. You want water. And along with that water, you're going to need some vitamins. And if you're not eating a healthy diet, you're going to need a supplement or two, for those vitamins that you need to grow your hair. If you're eating your vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, you should be fine. But if you're not, maybe try a vitamin or two, because McDonald's ain't going to grow your hair neither. I know the dollar menu is not going to grow your hair. So just remember that when you pulling up in the drive-thru. Just remember that. Just remember that I said that McDonald's is not going to grow your hair. It's just not. I'm sorry. Last but not least, y'all, patience. Patience. It's not going to happen overnight. And you might do all the stuff I told you to do and not feel like you seeing any growth. But I promise you it's happening. It's just really slow. Like, you know how the world is turning round and round and round and it's going so slow that you can't feel it? That's how your hair going to feel sometimes. It's going to be growing so slow that you can't even see it. But it doesn't mean it's not growing. It just means that it's going slow. So just remember that. Remember that little piece right there, okay? Patience is a virtue. And it's a process. The hair, it needs some loving. It's sensitive. It needs loving. It needs care. So just, care for her. Care for her. She loves you. Okay? She just don't know how. She don't know how to love you properly. So you got to love her first. You got to first love her. You got to first love your hair. That's good. So that's everything that I have for you today. This journey is so much fun to me. I don't know if y'all could tell, but I cut my hair. I cut all this top part off. Like, this used to be like down here. It's gone now. So I'm in the process with y'all. I want my hair to grow just like you want yours to grow. And I want some thick, long, luxurious stuff, but I gotta follow my own advice. You see what I'm saying? I gotta do what I just told y'all to do. So we in this together. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta